All right, Andrew, I got a name for you. Evan
Yeah,
Stewart.
yeah, that was a name brought up quite a bit on our board, and um, listen, it's a weird deal. He's the only guy that did not sign his letter of intent on Wednesday. Talking to people around College Station, they still feel certainly absolutely confident that his letter of intent is going to come in probably today. No real reason as to why, and I don't think they were really stressed about it. But I know a lot of A&M fans are not going to rest easy until his letter of intent is in and signed. Um, and he was on Instagram Live with a couple in A&M commits after the day, talking about you know what they were going to do in practice and going against each other in practice. And so I don't think there's a huge concern, but obviously A&M would love to get it in the next day or so and get that all finalized. He's the only one that's left to sign his letter of intent. And so that'll be a guy A&M certainly is in communication with, but they also haven't pushed him. They've just kind of let him work on his timeline, and when he sends it in is when he'll send it in.
Stewart's the second ranked wide receiver in the country. So
Yeah.
Nolan's number one at his position. Brownlow Dindy's at number 4. Weigman at 2. Is it Eric Nye White, I'm sorry, number 3, Lucas 7, Anderson 7, Marshall 7, Salia 10, Bowie 8, Williams 9. As you mentioned, Jake Johnson coming in yesterday as the number 1 tight end in the country. Dewberry 3, and I don't want to shortchange anybody else because the top 10 at the position is just endless.
Yeah, and Dindy's a guy that one we hadn't talked about, but that was just kind of a being in the right place, and again going back to those relationships we talked about. He was pretty solid to Oklahoma, where his parents graduated from, and his dad is gonna start working in College Station in January. But even despite that, he was still very solidly committed to Oklahoma. And then Lincoln Riley leaves, and the door kind of cracked open just ever so slightly for A&M to get in there, and did their in-home visit with him, and obviously preached stability and preached, and that's, I think, one of the impressive things we haven't talked about yet is, A&M lost their defensive coordinator on Friday to a head coaching position and still was able to close with this sort of class. And it's because of the stability at the head coaching position around the rest of the coaching staff. And, that's a guy that, Dindy really took note of that and wanted to join.
So do we expect with Stewart done, no more, signed, seal, delivered, all closed out for the rest of the year, including February, or is there room for more?
He's an early enrollee, so I'd expect him, to have his paperwork done probably um, in the next 2 days to be able to enroll in January, and then A&M goes to work on some other guys. That's the remarkable thing, is they've still got a couple major targets still left on the board. Beginning with 5-star quarterback Denver Harris. I think A&M is probably top 2 for him, along with Texas. LSU's still trying to get in there, but losing Corey Raymond really hurt on that front. And he's supposed to announce his decision probably this weekend. Just needed a couple more days on it. And so right now he is planning to sign on Friday. He confirmed yesterday with a TV station in Houston. And then he plays for a state championship game on Saturday, and will announce his decision after that game's done. Him and North Shore and Duncanville will square off on Saturday afternoon. And then Harold Perkins, a 5-star linebacker out of Cy Park, has been another huge target for him. He will announce his decision on January 2nd, I believe, at the Under Armour All-America game. Really, A&M, LSU, and Texas are the schools still in the mix there for him. And then you've got Shamar Stewart, who another 5-star defensive lineman out of Monsignor. You're seeing a pattern here. Monsignor Pace in Miami. I think that one's going to be a little bit more of a battle right now that Mario Cristobal's in place, and Mario Cristobal's already gone right to work on that one. He went his first couple of days on the job, and I think was a little worried about whether Stewart would maybe opt to go ahead and commit and sign with A&M this Wednesday. So he went for his in-home visit last week. Sounds like it was a success that, he opted to wait until February. And so we'll see where that one ends up. That would obviously be just the cherry on top of an incredible class on the D line. And then A&M will probably look in the portal for an offensive lineman. They probably need to add an offensive tackle. That would probably be the one concern if you spoke to folks. Losing out on Calvin Banks over the weekend to Texas, not being able to land Miles Frazier, transfer offensive lineman. They probably need to find an offensive tackle just to provide some depth at that position. But that's really, the big targets remaining, and still a chance to close out extremely strong.
Number one class in the country, and you just named 3 more top 5 players at their position that could sign with Texas A&M. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean that's the incredible part is they've still got guys out there that especially looking at all 3 of those guys in Denver Harris and Harold Perkins and Shamar Stewart. I mean, they're very much top 2, top 3 for both of them, for all 3 of them. And so it's a matter of closing those out, and this class will really go to historic levels.